There we go. Hey, what's up? This is Level With Me. This is my streaming show where I play through games and talk about what I think is going on in the level design. And right now we are kind of near the end of BioShock. Hopefully we will finish BioShock today. Let's see what happens. So last week, oops, my mic's in the shop. Last week we were, what were we doing? We were like walking around the level called Port Prometheus.
What is it you wait
Point
for?
Prometheus.
Go on. Hit the vent with your wrench.
What happened was that we had to walk around this whole level and collect all these different parts of like a big daddy suit. The big daddies are like the big lumbering like people in like diving suits that you see around the game. They're like mini bosses. You can optional mini bosses you engage. So now we're one of those people, and now you can see there's also like this cool like distortion viewport frame around the screen too, to kind of help sell the point that we're wearing a big diving helmet now. So now we are a big daddy, and now we can do this.
On the beta. It would mean very much to me if you will be gentle with the girls.
And now this is where BioShock I think actually fulfills some of its promise, where it does feel like it's systemic, and now we're, oh, I'm a big daddy and I have to kill other ones? No. And now we're actually kind of engaging with the whole promise of the ecosystem in BioShock, and we actually get to become one of these big daddies now. So now the next chapter is called Proving Grounds, and Proving Grounds I think is like a museum or something, but we have to guide our little sister to a dead body and protect her.
But you must protect them.
And to its credit, if you play BioShock 2, I'm probably not going to play BioShock 2 in this stream. Well, maybe, we'll see. They actually engage with this whole like ecosystem premise a lot more. Oh right, in the chat, it's pointed out that our view models are not swapped out, even though we're supposedly wearing a big daddy suit. So yeah, that's kind of a problem. But I guess they didn't have time. Oh, what's happening down there? Oh. That was a cool scripted sequence, I guess. It wasn't really clear what was happening though. Look at that, that's a nice fossil. So I like how like small the spaces are feeling. It's kind of like human scale. Last week we were walking through a lot of levels that felt really big and wide and open and kind of empty. So I like that it's kind of a bit more I don't know, like more like a human scale. Things feel like appropriately dense. I have to protect her from all these dudes popping out.
Angels don't wait for slowpokes.
And now the dynamic, like, it's basically like an escort mission, which is like usually very common and like disliked in games.
Hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
But oh, test subject 1. Yeah, it's kind of annoying that I just killed those dudes and she won't go over and pick their bodies. That's kind of annoying.
Even though they are physically free of the need together, each one's mental condition
Oh, auto hack it? Sure. Wait, no, maybe I'll save my auto hacks.
You can never atone.
Uh-oh. They can all hear her. Uh-oh. Oh. I'm always forgetting to reload my gun. Oops. There we go.
Time to go, Mr.
I wonder why that guy ran off. Oh well. There he is. Ah. There we go.
Hurry, Mr.
Is she done yet? I kind of like how anxious the gameplay becomes now, where now I have to escort this character, and she can't heal or anything.
No time to waste.
I'm playing on easy, so I thought it was going to be easier, but it's actually a little bit challenging. I might have to focus a little bit more.
Hurry, Mr. B. I can see the angels dancing in the sun. Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B.
I'm running out of ammo. Ah, okay. I also like how it's like a very long, ominous hallway. Like you have very long sight lines, so you can see the threats coming at you, but it's also like, oh no, like something's definitely gonna pop out here, isn't it? Oh, one nice detail is that the security systems actually don't attack me anymore. Because I'm a big daddy, so that's kind of interesting. I do wish I felt taller though. I wish they like moved the camera up. I feel like that would have been nice.
No time to waste. Come on, hurry! Hurry, Mr. Bubbles!
Oh. Okay, you said listen to your doctor. That's a good line. Oh. Who's that? What? That thing flamethrowing at me?
Hurry, Mr. B. I can see the angels dancing.
There we go.
Hop, hop, Mr. B.
Oh, what's going on here? I wish she wouldn't run ahead. I want to look at this level. God. Oh, all the turrets are hostile now. That's kind of messed up. Oh, what's that? Oh, do I have to help her into the vent now?
Hurry, Mr. B. Angels waiting.
Okay, maybe I'll just hack it. Ah, what's shooting at me? I don't even know. The area's kind of cluttered now, and then it's actually like cutting off my peripheral vision. I do like how I thought this was just gonna be a scripted sequence where when we saw these bones fall down. and I thought it wouldn't really matter, and then it ended up kind of mattering
Hurry, Mr. B.
and like affecting the level flow.
Waiting.
Oh god, why is she always in my way? There we go. It's really annoying. She keeps
Hurry, Mr.
like
Bubbles.
restricting my movement. Like I keep getting stuck against the wall because she'll like run up against me.
Time to go, Mr. B.
I think she's gonna die. I don't know if I can save her. I'm gonna save just in case.
Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B.
Where is she? It's actually hard to see where she's always like standing at my feet too. I never look down either.
Hurry, Mr. B. I can see an angel dancing in the sky. Hop, hop, Mr. B. No time to waste. Time to go, Mr. B. Don't be a slowpoke, Mr. B. Angels don't wait.
Okay, are we there yet? What? She's always trapping me against the wall. Jesus. Okay.
Hurry!
This
The
one's
harvesting
ready.
will draw the attention of this fighter.
She's telling me to hurry. It's not my call, lady.
Good girl, Mr. B. Hurry, Mr. B. Hurry, Mr. B. Dancing in the sky.
I'm running out of all this ammo too. I don't know. Uh-oh.
This is not longer infused with Adam. They are
Oh no, she just
invulnerable to any
died.
child.
My bad.
If a little one falls, you can call for another at the vent.
Oh.
But to lose even one.
Oh, who cares? You can just get another one. Okay, that's easy. Who cares? Why was I even worried? I thought the game was gonna like automatically fail me or something, but these little children are like a dime a dozen. Who cares? I should have been like saving more of my ammo. I don't know why I was so worried then. What do I think of the level design here? I feel like I don't know if these are custom made like props they made. I mean, they look nice. That's a nice polar bear and stuff. And the idea that this is like a museum we're walking through does kind of make sense where... Oh no. Oh, ow. I'll have to fight one of these. Oh, ow. Oh, ow. Okay, there we go. Everything's okay now, don't worry. But what was I saying? Oh, right. I was talking about how like choosing a museum for this is actually kind of a savvy choice, because people are used to museums being kind of like these guided tours where it's kind of sneaking around kind of thing. You know, it kind of feels like a zoo a little bit too. So in that sense, I think it makes sense, and I think it was kind of a savvy choice to do like a zoo museum as the theme here. Is she gonna go inside now? No. She's gonna go in this door. I wondered why they placed all these vents everywhere if we weren't even gonna be using them. Huh.
Only the little ones can open these doors. You must protect them.
Oh wait, why is she going backwards? Oh my god, wait, she has to go all the way to the first one? Oh my god. I thought the game was gonna make it easy for me. What's happening? Oh wait, no, I'm on the other side of the room. It's
Fontaine
okay.
is nearby.
Phew, okay.
You are reaching close now.
That would have been really terrible. Oh, now I'm in this giant, like, mall room. Those are the rooms that I call... there's, like, certain BioShock rooms where you see, like, all these vending machines everywhere clustered in one room. And, like, that's where you can do all your shopping in the game, finally. Usually the game kind of makes you do all this stuff.
You must use the needle of the little sister to drain Fontaine of his Adam.
Oh,
It is
jeez.
the only way to defeat him.
Here, take this. Stick it in the bad man.
Ooh.
Fontaine waits above. There will be no going back from here. Make sure you are ready to face him before.
Oh, make sure you're ready. I like that. That's like one of my most favorite kind of conventions in games, when someone is like, oh, like, make sure you stock up and finish before you face the final battle. But often games will try to, like, couch this in, like, certain language where they're trying to not make it so video gamey and like pretend it's more like in world and in fiction, when this is totally a video gamey device. The idea that you have to stock up and prepare for your final boss battle. Oh my god, I have no money. I'm so poor right now. Oh wait, no, I have no Adam because I haven't been killing anything. Oops, my bad. Oh well, I think I'll be okay. I'm playing on easy. I should invent some stuff. Let's see. Should probably buy one of these. Buy some of those. Just use all my items on everything. I think I'm good there. Should I buy some? I should buy some of these. I should buy some of those. Maybe some of that. Okay, there, I just spent all my money. Should I not have spent all my money? Maybe not. Oh well, too late. Okay, let's, ooh. Oh, there was more napalm here. I didn't even have to buy all that. Oh well. My bad. Okay. Oh, in the chat, people are telling me to reload. Make sure all my weapons are prepared. Okay. I mean, I should spend all my money, right? Where we're going, we won't need money. Isn't that nice? Like, you finally get to transcend capitalism by defeating this game. I think I'm good on loading up everything. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna save one last time in case I die or something again. Oops, I just fired a grenade, my bad. Okay, I think we are ready to go face the final boss of BioShock. Before we enter that, I want to talk about the design of this room a little bit. So first of all, notice it's kind of this, let me no-clip a little bit. Oops. Oh, kind of actually interesting how the level layout kind of snakes back on itself. This is almost kind of where we started. I wish I could fly and show you like the whole level layout, but the way BioShock is doing its level culling means they cull occlusion cull the whole thing really, really tightly, and it's really annoying and really difficult to get a sense of the whole level just from no clip and flying out. So sorry I can't show you the whole level, but I can try to talk about these individual rooms. This room, I think, what I want you to notice about this room is that it's not like a hallway. It's what we might call like a donut kind of hallway, where there's a big wall in the middle and you have to walk around this wall to go forward and progress. Usually when we have these kinds of rooms in video games, it's usually to occlude the player's line of sight, so that maybe this is like a level streaming transition, or maybe there's some kind of specific boss or encounter we want to happen on the other side of this. So it's kind of interesting that they use it here when it doesn't seem to be serving any kind of occlusion or line of sight optimization kind of thing, because there's already an elevator here. The elevator is already like a level data, level streaming transition. So we technically don't need this here. So I guess it's more of a design thing. And what happens here, because they have all this symmetry and framing, the first thing you notice is this Gatherer's Garden right here, which is pretty important. That's how you like buy spells and stuff in BioShock. And then I guess the symmetry also helps it feel more like a lobby, like we're going to be preparing for this future battle and stuff. So I guess we are ready to go forward. Ooh, I like this scene right here. Looks like they did a really nice job with all the set dressing and props. Let's see. And a nice use of the particle effects here. Sometimes BioShock kind of overdoes it with the particle effects, especially like the fog and mist. But here I think it's kind of nice, and it also works with the idea in fiction that there's like an animated fan vent above it. So here the fog kind of actually makes sense, as opposed to other times in BioShock like this, where there's just like random smoke that's omnipresent and that's just going to be like sitting there forever all the time. I also like how there's animated props and stuff. So it also, all this movement and flickering makes me feel like this is like a really important section of the room. Versus if you look over here, there's nothing really animated or flickering that much about it. So all this movement is like drawing my eye, I guess you could say. Okay, I'll save one last time. And now let's go face the final boss of BioShock. So as we do often in video games, the elevator is a very good opportunity to deliver exposition, and the player is like a captive audience. But in this case, it's kind of mirroring the beginning of BioShock. We were descending down and looking outside the bathysphere, and when we looked out, we got to saw the skybox of the whole city of Rapture beneath. I was gonna call the city BioShock. Maybe, BioShock, the real BioShock is in our hearts, of course. Oh, this is the final boss. Find Fontaine? Well, there's Fontaine right there.
Go! Go now! Hit it with the key!
Oh, ew. He's kind of sexy, though. I don't know. Sexy in, like, a creepy way, I guess. Oh, ouch, he has fire spells. I wish I had, like, an ice spell. Do I have an ice spell? Maybe I do. No, that's telekinesis. That's fire. Bees? Do you think I should shoot bees at him? I don't think the bees are helping, though. I don't think he cares about the bees. Oh, I have to run up there and drain his... It's a little disappointing that the game has to tell you to go run up there and, like, grab his atom. like so much of BioShock is about getting to figure out the system and interact with it. So it's kind of sad when it's also, where's the bot shutdown machine? Where it's kind of doing this thing where it's explicitly telling you all this stuff now. Is this the bot shutdown machine? I don't know where the bot alarm shutdown machine is. It's kind of this like important systemic feature too, and then the kiosk for this shutdown machine is like a small little thing that's like impossible to find. That there I think was like a bad art decision on their part. To make the bot shutdown machines just a small weird little thing. Is it over here? No, that's a health station. Where's the bot shutdown machine? Well, just walking around looking for the bot shutdown alarm was already made everything run out. So, oh well. Also, this boss fight in BioShock is kind of famously, like, disappointing, I guess. Like, it's weird that, like, BioShock is known as this really, like, crucial game that's, like, intellectual and stuff, and I'm fighting this big muscle blue video gamey naked dude with magic powers, and I'm just trying to unload like, my whole machine gun. And it's like, oh, like, why? What's the point?
This is what I get.
Ew. So again, I'm playing on easy, on medium or hard. I imagine this boss fight's a bit more difficult than just like circle strafing around him always. But before I kill him and complete this whole encounter, I'm just gonna fly around real quick and admire the design of this room. So I like how at the top of this room there's like this big like Oculus kind of eye. If you're going into GDC, one of my favorite bars at GDC in San Francisco is the top of the Marriott, which a lot of the game developers call the Death Star bar, because at the top you're at the top of this skyscraper, and you get this window like this that kind of overlooks like the whole city, and it's kind of a really interesting view. Let's see what else is going on in this room. I like the symmetry here. Again, the symmetry helps sell the idea that this is kind of a whole built environment, because usually we don't associate formal symmetry like this with nature. Also, what symmetry does for us is that it kind of helps things feel more epic, I think. So much like how the lobby felt, that lobby with all the vending machines had that symmetry with that donut room feeling epic. I feel like the windows on either side, and then this really giant like fist, this giant fisting icon right here, also kind of makes things feel a little bit epic. I mean, maybe the one thing that doesn't help too much here, though, is that the fisting icon isn't super prominent. It's kind of up there. You don't really see... I mean, I guess you kind of see it when you first come out of this elevator room, and then it's all framed like this, right? Like, this is like a really interesting composition, I think. I also like this whole big, like, reactor design. Yeah, he's really upset at me, sorry. But at least he has friends. He's not lonely. I like how there's this really big prominent machine, and notice how the ceiling is almost non-existent, right? I have to actually fly up all the way here for you to actually get a view of this whole ceiling here. Because otherwise, if you're looking at the ceiling from down here, it's almost like a flat abstract color. I've pointed this out in BioShock several times, where BioShock relies on this kind of mysterious ceiling right here, where it's just kind of this flat thing, and then all this big machinery is kind of receding upwards into nothing. So that kind of helps. That helps make the room feel I guess I don't want to use the word epic again, but like I guess monolithic, where you don't even know where the room ends, right? It's like looking at the bottom of a hole and you can't see the bottom. Oh, kill him, kill him. Let's see what else is going on here. We've seen these consoles several times. They're okay. It's not really a big deal. Oh, that guy's just standing there. That's kind of weird. Let's see. Overall, I think it's like an okay, interesting enough layout where... Oh, what's this up here? I don't think these rooms are accessible. Like this whole balcony platform up here, there's no real way to get up. I mean, maybe you could jump up here? I don't know. I don't think you can though. It's actually kind of interesting how they built out this room, but it's kind of just this empty, weird BSP room that they didn't fill out. Maybe they had more of an idea to the encounter, but then they kind of had to simplify it or kind of cut parts to the encounter just because they ran out of time to run out of stuff. Maybe there was a part where originally you had to walk up here to these like stairs or climb a ladder and go into these rooms and do something. But it's kind of interesting. It's like this, it's like a secret little house or something. Secret little control booth. Huh, interesting. But stuff like that is very common in video games where the whole like levels might be built for one idea of gameplay or set piece, but then certain constraints or whatever mean they have to cut down on the complexity of it or whatever. So maybe they had a lot greater things planned for this boss fight and they decided that they had to simplify it in the end. Oh, this side of the room also has a kind of little booth area too, but not really. Not nearly as developed or suggestive. Okay, I think we did a pretty good analysis of the room. Oh, one last point. I would point out with this room. I do like this big like T shape in the middle of this room right here. I think that's kind of an unusual shape to have in the middle of an arena. I also like, well, one thing I don't like about this T-shape though is I feel like they're not really using it. Like there's no real reason why you would come to into this area of the T-shape right here. It doesn't really make sense, in a sense. But I like the idea of it. I just wish they made a little bit better use of it. I also like the height variation here. Like, they have this they have these two kind of paths. One path down here, one path up here. They kind of serve the same purpose, except one of these is kind of lower risk. Like, if I run down here, he actually doesn't really path down here. So, in case you ever need to kind of break movement or something with him, notice the AI is actually configured not to run down here. So, oh my god, did he blow himself up? Oh, what a goofball. But that's kind of an interesting kind of way for the player to feel like they're still in danger, but also they're kind of not in danger because they get to run down here maybe and hide behind this, and that kind of helps them get their bearings a little bit. Notice when I'm hiding down here, crouched behind this thing, I'm pretty much safe from him right now. So it's a little bit of breathing room, but it still feels really open, which I think is smart. Usually you don't let the player notice stuff like... Oh, now he came down here. Usually you don't want to let the player notice stuff like that, like movement, like blocking for the NPC, just because it feels kind of artificial in the end. But here, there's usually more tension. If I was playing more seriously on harder difficulty, I probably wouldn't have noticed that. Let's see, what else is going on here? Okay, yeah, maybe one last thing. I like how this is on a big raised platform to speak to that height variation again. There's a lower platform down. Oh, he just like hurt himself. I guess I'll just drain him. Do I want to finish? Well, I mean, it's still a little bit early. I'll let him. Let's see what happens if I don't take care of his vulnerability. I mean, that's kind of kinky, but I'll just let him go. Wait, is he wearing clothes? I think he's naked. But... no, he's like wearing a thong or something. Okay, well, I mean, that's okay. I respect that. That's fine. One other thing I want you to pay attention to is all the different lighting color everywhere. There's a lot of orange and blue lighting. This is very classic case of blue orange that I usually denounce in level design. I'm not a big fan of blue orange. But then they kind of open up the lighting palette a little bit more when you get further away from this machine. Here it's like hardcore, very saturated blue and orange. But when you get here, it's a little bit less saturated and more like a warmer, greener kind of yellow. And then over here, it's kind of a faint kind of blue. So there's almost kind of a little bit of a light story here, where more dangerous areas are kind of more saturated in light color, and then maybe like safer, more like plain areas are lighter colored, and it's also a little bit darker here too, so maybe you might also associate areas of shadow and darkness with a little bit more safety in being covered and stuff like that. Oh, people in the chat are saying that they're impressed with this AI, able to target me even though I'm doing these totally nonsensical things like flying around and turning invincible and stuff. And yeah, I agree. I guess he's doing pretty good for how much I'm breaking the sequence. Let's see, anything else to talk about? Oh, notice the color red is not really used anywhere in this scene except near the health station. So I guess that kind of helps you memorize where the health station might be in case you run out of health kits. There's also a little bit of symmetry here where there's a gene bank machine on this side in terms of level design, and then the health kit on the other side. So there's a little bit of symmetry with the item and station placement as well. Oh, people in the chat are defending Blorange. I'm sorry, I cannot agree with you. We'll just have to agree to disagree, I guess. Or it's more like Romeo and Juliet. Montague and Capulets will never get along, I'm sorry. But you're still welcome in my chat. I won't hold it against you. Okay, any last things? I guess I should just finish this boss fight, because I feel like I've kind of exhausted what's going on in this room. Okay, I guess I'll just fight him now. Oh, why don't I have... what happened to my grenades? There we go. Oh, ow. He's kind of using the same attacks as a Big Daddy a little bit. Like, doing a lot of that charging stuff. I wonder if he's like a Big Daddy with like a different model, maybe. Anyway, now I'm unzipping him. That's kind of sexy, right? I'm unzipping him, yeah.
I had you built. I sent you topside. I called you back, showed you what you was capable of. Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up. And I
nice lip sync.
Inside your head. Now, if you don't call that family, I know what is. And now.
I like how he speaks like a old-timey like gangster too. He's like this big blue muscly weirdo mutant who's like also like a character actor. Oh my god, I forgot about this part. Oh my god. Ooh. Oh, and then you're just hearing them do it. children are really the
They
cruelest
offered
creatures.
you everything, yes. And in return, you gave them what I have come to expect of you. Brutality.
Oh, so I'm getting the bad ending right now because I harvested more than one little girl and turned it into a space slug. So this is the bad ending of BioShock.
You
One
took
interesting
what
thing
you
I
wanted.
heard about the
All the
BioShock
atom, all the
ending
power.
design. So this is a commonly critiqued part of BioShock, that it's this weird kind of binary thing where it's like, oh, did you
And
kill one
rapture
little girl
turned.
or like
But in the end,
absorb
even
whatever
rapture was
two
not
little girls?
enough for
Then
you.
it's totally this black and
Father
white
was
binary
terrified the
thing
world would
instead
try
of
to
this like
steal the
weird
secrets
gray
of his
ethical
city.
dilemma.
But
So there's not
not
much
you.
granularity. There's
Now
actually
you
3 endings to
stole
BioShock.
the terrible secrets of the world.
One, if you harvested one, but saved every. Oh, and then that's just the ending. Well, let's put on the credits. That's kind of sad. So there's 3 endings to BioShock. One ending to BioShock is if you harvested one but saved everyone else. Then you get like a middle of the road ending. One is where you saved everyone, then you get the good ending. And one is where you harvested more than one, and then bad things happen. And the bad thing that happened was the city is destroyed, and I'm become a super evil villain. I become the new evil big blue fisting guy who wants to rule the world, and then I invade the entire world with those bathyspheres that rise to the top. But yeah, that's the end of BioShock. Really abrupt. I don't remember it being that abrupt. Kind of weird. But you know, that was the whole thing. So some closing themes I want to remind you about BioShock for the past month or two that I've been playing it. BioShock is famous for its narrative design. It's famous for its Art Deco setting. Really nice hub and spoke kind of level design. Really nice particle effects. I talked a lot about the water effects in BioShock that still hold up pretty well. But then maybe near the maybe the last third of the game, the last 30% of the game, the level design, we kept talking about how I would turn on the wireframe mode, and you see that most of it is white wireframe and not a lot of set dressing everywhere, and that feels like they were kind of rushed near the end. And that's the case with a lot of games. If you play, you'll often notice this kind of the levels feel more rushed, less detailed for like the second half or last third of a game, because that's when you start crunching and to try to push the game out through the door. So BioShock's gotten a lot of criticism, especially now, for how its narrative doesn't really hold up. It's kind of silly. The choices in the narrative design don't really make sense. It's also a game basically about murdering a bunch of mentally ill people, which is kind of weird. The politics of BioShock haven't really held up that well. But I would say in terms of some of the environment art and some of the level design and the way they present and guide and teach the player, it's still an interesting example of design that I'm glad we all got to enjoy together. Anyway, that's the end of BioShock 1. I don't know what I'm gonna play next week. Probably a short indie game. I usually like trying to change up really long, big budget AAA things with shorter indie first-person games. So maybe next week we'll try to play a short indie game and talk about the level design in that one. And then as for the next big AAA game, I don't know what that's going to be. If you have any ideas or requests, feel free to let me know. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. And see you next week. Bye.